$225 and 246 grams. That's just crazy. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing another drone that's going to go out for a giveaway. However, this one's going to be also a budget quad. It's going to be actually less than 125 bucks, not including the receiver, but everything else will be included: VTX, ESC, flight controller, PDB, motors, frame, antenna, everything. So I found a couple very cheap and awesome parts here. And actually I found a Foxeer type camera for $10 right here. I'll leave a link to everything down below. So this is going to be the camera we're going to be using. It's kind of like the ESC one, I think. This is a CMOS, not a CCD, so don't mix it up with a CCD camera. This is CMOS camera. So this was $10. This is going to be like a practice quad to most people. $125 is basically nothing here for a quad. And I'm sure this thing is going to fly beautiful. And only time will tell now. So I've gone ahead and chose the Star F3S because it's cheap, it's reliable, and I freaking love it. And they finally came in. So now I have basically, I think, a total of 4 in the house of these and a total of 4 of the Star F4S. And they're just amazing boards here. This is basically an ESC, a flight controller, a PDB, and it has OSD, everything into one. So all you really need to do, it's even going to be a super easy build. All we need to do is connect the motors right there, connect the camera up here somewhere, VTX up here somewhere, battery, and we're done. So this is going to be pretty interesting and pretty crazy build right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the components that we're going to be using. And again, all the links will be down below for all these parts. The frame, I chose this frame here. Now I chose this frame, one thing, is $20. Two, it seems pretty rigid, pretty solid, and it's very light. So that's a huge plus, and I really liking the way it looks also. So that's going to be super awesome. And we're gonna be left with a lot of room inside also, because we're gonna be using this board, which is just gonna be beautiful. So that's one reason why I chose this. Plus, I mean, it just looks sexy, to be honest. I don't know how it looks like on camera, but in real life, it just looks absolutely awesome. So that's for the frame. For motors, I was actually gonna go with the Racerstar 2205 2300 kV, but I decided to go with the 2600 kV on this because this is gonna be a pretty light build actually. Because this is only coming in, I think I was 88 grams or 89 grams, 87 maybe, I don't really remember, but it's very light. It's pretty light quad for a $20 frame, so that's going to be pretty good. So this is going to be a pretty nice little beast. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is going to be one you could totally enjoy. So that's for motors. We're going to be using the 2600 kV Racerstar motors here. And for VTX, we're going to use this VTX. It's called the TS5828L. It's a 600 milliwatt 40 channel VTX, which is going to be very good, more than enough, and you're going to just get beautiful video. And I've used one of these before, and I know they work. However, I don't know if they bleed to other channels, but if you, yeah, that's I can't test that for you right now. But yeah, this is a very good one. It's only $10. So that's for VTX. And for camera, we already discussed it. I found this little CMOS one, which is a HS1177 type body style, and it has a pretty nice fat lens. And I don't know if it's 16:9 just yet, but once we connect it, we'll figure everything out. And yeah, this came with an antenna too. So yeah, so enough talking, and let's get started. All right, guys. So first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna prepare the flight controller to. We're gonna just basically connect all the wires and prepare all the pads for us to put it in the frame and actually start putting our motors in. So first thing I like to do is actually start with the ESC pads here, and just to get those out of the way and just have them nice and ready for us. Alright, so there we have just 3 right now, but let's go ahead and talk about the pads that we're going to be using. So taking a look here, we have the first one is ground, the second one is S-bus, and the third one, is 5 volt. So these 3, you would put your, let's just say your FR Sky receiver. However, if you put I-bus on S-bus here, it won't work. So what I would recommend you do, instead of putting your signal to S-bus, if you're running Fly Sky, you would go ahead and put it to RX1, which is on top right there by the USB right there. So that's what you would want to do there if you were running some kind of iBus. So for right now, I still haven't made my mind if I'm going to be using FR Sky or Fly Sky. So we're going to just skip over these, but we're going to just prepare the pads now just in case. So they'll be just nice and ready for us. I'm going to go ahead and prepare everything here. All right. so here we prepared most of them. Now let's go over each pad and what each pad does. So let me find something here to point with. All right. So like I mentioned, we have the ground, S-bus, and 5V. This would go to your receiver. And then right below it, we have another 5V, and then we have video in, video out, and then ground. So this is kind of weird, and I believe these two here are ground also, and I'll double check that in a little bit. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna give power to the VTX from here with the battery. We're gonna wrap them around the Xt60 connector, the battery wires, and then we're just gonna put them in through here. So the VTX power will be through there, and the yellow wire that's on the VTX will be going to VO, which is video out. And the camera that we're bringing in will take 5V from here. Yellow wire would be the video in, and we'll give it ground from here. So let's go ahead and begin with the camera wires. So as you can see here, now don't expect these to be super awesome silicone wires, because it's a $10 camera. I mean, don't have high expectations. So, but it should be overall pretty good. So this should do the job just fine. So I'm just kind of wrapping it around a little bit just to get it nice and clean here. Alright, so let's go ahead and prepare these wires. So we're going to cut them right there. And as you can see, yellow is going to be video, black is going to be ground, and the red's going to be power. So let's just go ahead and strip these guys and prepare them here. So these are pretty good wires actually. They're not just getting destroyed here. So that's a good sign. Very good sign actually. Alright, so let's just get some solder. Always recommend twisting them and add solder to the wires before you use them for anything. Let's start with the 5V first. So what we're gonna do is where's 5V? This video in, this 5V. So we're gonna go ahead and start with 5V here, which is the fourth one. I'm gonna go ahead and just place that there and go ahead and solder it. So let me just zoom in for you guys a little bit. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's very difficult for me to see on top of the camera. So there we have 5V in, and then it was video in and then video out. So video in is, don't forget, this is the wire that's going to our camera. So the yellow wire is going to go on video in, because the video in, the camera is going to give the feed to the OSD here, which is this chip right there. It's going to process it and send it to video out, which will go to our VTX, which broadcasts directly to our goggles. So there we go. And now ground, which is that last one right there. We're going to ground our camera here. But what I highly recommend you do is you actually go get the yellow wire from your VTX and you put it, and then you put the ground, because this can prove to be kind of difficult to get it in between. So there we go, it's just that simple. Now make sure your forearms are rested on the table while you do this. You need as much precision as possible, because if my hand was in the air, it's going to be shaking the whole time. But if I rest my forearms, and I'm able to be more precise. So just be careful. These are very close to each other, and you could really ruin it. So just take your time and take it easy. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to get the wire for the VTX here. And what we will do here is, so this one is another ground and then audio. I believe this has audio, but our camera doesn't have audio. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove these two, which is the black and white wires. We don't need those. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this to it. And I'm going to go ahead and actually make these not all the way through, which is the black, red, and yellow that were next to each other. Just kind of open them up a little bit so it doesn't make complications later, and I'll explain why. Alright, so here we're done. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two off, the black and white wire, because that's audio and just another ground, which we don't need because we already grounded our camera. So just grab anything sharp and just lift the pins up, and then this should come off. But since the two wires are together now, you have to do both of them at the same time. Alright, so now we've gone ahead and removed them, and let's just figure out how much do we need for VTX here. I think this is going to be kind of good. Yeah, it's going to be perfect here. This could go basically anywhere we want it to go now. So I'm going to cut it right there. All right. Oh, we should have waited for the power here, because the power is going to be, it's going to take power from here, and the video is going to be all the way over there. So it's going to be something like this, but I think this is going to be still good. So let's go ahead and just strip the video wire, because we need the yellow wire here. These are very bad wires. Well, not very, yeah, they're bad actually. So just be super careful with these. And I highly recommend actually you strip them with a lighter instead of a some kind of stripper tool. Okay, just twisted it and got a little bit of solder. Trim some off. And now we're gonna go to video out, which was right there. Make sure the tip is clean. And I recommend you use a different kind of tip. Don't use the same tip that I'm using here. This one I just really like, and I've just gotten so used to it. And that should be absolutely beautiful now. So let me just take a look at it here. All right, video in is kind of scaring me a little bit, so I really want to just retouch that just a tiny bit. And usually it's just these retouches that destroy things. I think I pushed it enough there. All right, now I'm super satisfied with this. So basically we're almost done here. If you had your receiver, like I said, you would do it here. If you're running iBus, take the RX1 port, and then you'll just enable serial RX for for UART1. Here I believe this is UART3 for S-Bus. So now we're gonna get our Xt60 connector, which is basically pre-made. All right. So what I recommend doing with these kinds of boards actually, now if your frame is a top mount battery, then I would recommend you would stick this through here, but this one is not. So I'm going to be doing it with a wire here, as you can see. So let's just go ahead and get a kind of an idea of how we want this here to be done just real quick. What we're going to do is we're going to just drop it through the bottom, because we have this opening right here. So dropping it through the bottom, like just like that, that's how we're going to solder it in. Not like this or anything, so just straight through the bottom there. Should be good. I'm going to leave a bit of clearance. About that big should be good. You always try to keep them as small as possible, because the long battery leads can increase noise. So let's go ahead and strip these and prepare our wires here. So like I said before, we're also going to be needing to set these guys up too. So let's actually have these pretty much ready for us, so we don't, these are our VTX wires now. Okay. We're just gonna keep them for last here. So let's go ahead and just prepare these guys. We should make these a little bit longer, to be honest. So let's just go ahead and do that. And you see that flipping motion, that if it slips, it just flips. You got to be careful, because they could literally splatter in your eye if it just goes too fast. It's almost happened to me once, so we just got to be very careful. All right, so these are pretty much ready to go, kind of. Let's go ahead and trim some off. I think about here is going to be good. All right. So make sure you take your time and figure out the polarity. So if we take a look here, this is battery plus and battery minus. So we were going to want our plus to be like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do like a quick touch here, just to kind of get it to stick into place. In theory, that should not have gotten stuck there. So yeah, we're not going to completely do it. Or you know what, let's just completely set it up now. I'm just applying pressure. Make sure you get the ring. You also apply heat on the outer ring of the flight controller here. And just quickly, while it's still hot, we can bring in our VTX wire and just stick them through. There we go. So that's VTX. Oh crap, that wasn't VTX. You know what we just did? We took the cut wire. That was already cut. That's fine. There we go. So this is our real VTX wire here. And just slid through. Beautiful. There we go. Sorry that kind of went off camera. Alright, so now let's do the negative. We're going to do the same thing really here. So we're just going to drop this through. Bend this a little bit. I don't want it touching anything. So I'm going to trim some of that off here. It's a bit too long. I think that's going to be good. Okay. Right there, it's going to be very nice. So that's going to be very, very nice. Alright, so make sure we get the correct negative from our VTX wire here, which is this guy right there. So once it's hot, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip them right through with the other ones. So let's go ahead and get ready here. And I'm applying pressure with my middle finger on my left hand on the board so it doesn't move around. And then when I let go, I apply pressure with the solder here, soldering gun. And I should have thought this through a little bit. Solder is about to finish in my hand on this part. There we go. And we're just gonna go ahead and stick this guy with the others. Be careful, the board's starting to get hot also. So right here, we're basically pretty much done. What we need to do is prepare the pads for the motors, and we can go ahead and do that now. So let's just do that now then. Alright, so the board is pretty much ready here. I'm going to put the FrSky later on. The FrSky receiver or iBus receiver, I don't know yet. I need to go look for them. But basically we're really done here. So here's the camera wire and here's the VTX wire. And now we're just going to put it into the frame here. And yeah, we start soldering the motors. And that's it, we're done. I think, yeah, that's it. We're basically done. So let me go ahead and put the motors in place. And I'll stick this guy in the frame and then we'll continue from there. Alright guys, so I've gone ahead and set this up and I've put pretty long standoffs here. So let's just take a look here. I put them because the metal screws that go in, and I know for sure these sides are, I think they're VCC or they're negative. So be careful, don't put any metal screws through them. That's why I put nylon ones through them. And I did add some rubber dampeners or just rubber O-rings here to keep it dampened, and it's going to be a very, very nice smooth flying quadcopter here. So let's go ahead and start with the motor. Let's go ahead and pick a motor here. Let's see which one's easier for you guys to see. I think we're going to go ahead and start with this motor right there. So let's just take a look. Now this is, I've extended these wires a while back on another quad, and I decided to salvage them because I wanted it on this quad because it's a light quad. And I remember I mentioned in the beginning of the video it's 89 grams. No, it's in the 70s grams. I just remembered now. So yeah, that's something very important to take note of. So we're just going to do it like that. It's going to be pretty nice. Let's just make sure all of them reach. So yeah, everything's going to reach just fine. We're not going to shorten any of these wires. So let's go ahead and set these guys up. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start with this one. All right, let's go ahead and do this one. Now we'll skip the rest right now after we just do one motor together. And I really can't see from this far away because I have a new setup and this is very bad. What's coming out here? So let's go ahead and grab these. I think that's going to be the best here. Okay. Perfect. You want to hear that beautiful crunching sound. And we'll just add tape around this here and we should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over the rest of the motors here. And it's starting to look pretty nice actually. I'm going to go ahead and skip the rest of the motors and we'll come back and we'll just take another look at it. And yeah, we'll see how we finalize everything. So give me a moment and I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, the motors are in place now and it's looking pretty damn sexy. And as you can see, this is for the VTX and this is going to be for our camera. So what I've done here is I've left these standoffs big, as you can see right here. And you might say, why? That's stupid. You're retarded. Well, no, I'm not retarded. Let me tell you why I like doing it this. Since I have the luxury of extra space, I like to go about doing this because if I needed to fine tune this in the field, I can go ahead and do that. And that this usually, sometimes fine tuning this just gives you an unbelievable, beautiful flight. Just smooth, super smooth quad. So this is the whole point of this, just to make it easy to do that. Instead of having to grab it with something and then twist it and then you pop off a capacitor, you're basically screwed. We don't want that, do we? No, we don't. So let's go ahead and just start mounting the camera here. Or maybe I should just skip over this. Alright, so let's just go ahead and do this. So this is what came with the camera here. We're not going to need that bracket. All we're going to need is 2 screws. And make sure you save these screws. So sometimes from vibrations, they do tend to just disappear. And that's not a very good thing. There we go. Here's the camera. So I kind of forgot how this goes into the frame. So let's just take a look here. Okay, so this is the front. It's perfect. All right. So if I remember correctly, I think the smaller part was on top. I think it was like this. All right, so I figured it out. So it goes this way. So the fat side would be on the bottom here. And this would be that way. So what we need to do is figure out the top. So this says top, so we're going to have to set it up like so. So let's go ahead and start with the first one here. All right. So obviously we're going to need a screwdriver. All right. You have to be very careful because these do tend to strip and you might need to buy a whole new body, and it does happen even with the expensive ones. So yeah, just be very careful. Not many companies are addressing this issue now, so don't super tighten it from the beginning. And yeah, so the top, so this was on the bottom. Okay, so that's perfect. Okay, so I didn't tighten it too much. However, you know, so far I'm telling you, the plastic here they're using is a lot better than some of the expensive cameras right now. But we'll know usually one strips and one usually holds. So that's something to take note of. And it's you have to be very careful. Very careful, because this could really annoy you. And sometimes make you even buy another camera. So this plate seems larger than that plate. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Alright, we just want to align it perfect until we just feel it. Okay, there we go, it's good. So just it's barely holding right now, but once we put it in, then we could fine tune this. So let's go ahead and stick this guy through. Alright, so there's gonna be challenge here on camera. I can't really see the hole. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so that's one in. The other one, I think it's in now. I'm not sure. Nope, not yet. Okay, now it's in. Beautiful. So there we go. That's awesome. All right, you don't want to keep doing this because then you'll just undo the screws. So let's go ahead and find our camera wire, which was this guy. Let's plug him in. All right, so camera's connected. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and get our VTX now. So here's the VTX antenna. Make sure you don't power off your power on your VTX without ever doing this. And now we're just gonna go ahead and connect the wire for our VTX. And what we're gonna do is, I have this very strong tape, double-sided tape. I usually just stick them up top like this. And make sure I put some kind of, if I feel like the SMA is gonna touch the carbon, I put some kind of tape, like some electrical tape, to insulate it, because that can cause noise. So you know, take that into consideration here. All right, so let's just easily wrap these. We don't want to cause stress on them because they're not very good wires. So you want to just be nice and gentle with them. All right, so usually you have to do this with many frames because the camera is just a bit retarded. So you have to kind of force it in a way. Oh, it's a pain. All right, well, before we do that, let's just go ahead and find the perfect place for our VTX here. All right, so I think I'm gonna have it sticking out like this, and then we could just bend that guy like this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna set it up like this here. Or, yeah, no, like this. This seems like it has more grip. All right, so let me get some double-sided tape, and then we'll just stick this guy on. All right, guys, so I found my tape, and I get this from Tesco. It's very strong tape. All right, so it's also clear, as you can see. So I usually tend to go up here, stick this guy on. Very nice. Now we're just gonna remove this here. Okay, so we just find the perfect place for it, and I'm gonna go with this way like this, because then that thing is not touching the SMA port. And we're not gonna be hitting a propeller anytime soon. So we get most amount of contact on this upper plate here. And if you want, you could stick a zip tie around it, but I really be careful when putting zip ties, because they can pop off some of the components here, and that could be very, very bad. All right, so what we want to do is just easily, now our wires are long enough to do everything and stay inside the frame. So this lucky winner is gonna have a pretty sick quad. This kind of reminds me of the bee fight for some reason. All right, so this is gonna be, I mean, it goes in easily, but since the camera is making it all weird here, so it's just yeah, that needs quite a bit of space to go through there. Wow. All right, you know what we want to do, actually, what we should have done in the beginning, we should, I always forget to do this. You see this? That's how it protrudes out. Just go ahead and cut some off. There we go. Flatten this out, and then that should give us the amount of space we need. See, as you can see here, there's two ridges. I'm going to cut one of those ridges off, and that's going to be pretty flat. There we go. Hopefully it still sticks through, because the side plates here are pretty thick. So yeah, let's go ahead and try this again now. Where's the top? Okay. Very nice. Okay. As you can see, I cut myself with the frame when it just pulled apart. So gotta be careful. They should do some like inner linings with metal here. That would be the best way to go. Alright, there we go. This one I might need a longer screw for, this side. I think I might, but it's good now. It's good enough, but I'm gonna change it to a longer screw here. And we're done. That is awesome. So let me go ahead and clean up the area. I know some of you said that you wanted to see the whole process, but now you got to see that last process where I do the wire management. Or maybe we could just put some tape here, but I'm not going to put tape right now. If you guys are interested, I will go ahead and show you how to, how to set this up in Betaflight. We can do the next episode, maybe with the flight footage. And yeah, should be pretty good. So just putting the last screws in here. Take this off. Alright. Alright. And alright. So this is a beauty. How much do you think it weighs? So I'm just curious about something. Let's remove this here. If you do win, and you're not gonna be flying very far anyways in the beginning, put yourself one of these guys. There you go. That's a pretty awesome beast here. I think this will get hit by the propellers, so you bend it up and you'll be good to go. Alright. Alright, so let me clean up and then we come back, take one last look at it, see it, check its weight, and hopefully in these upcoming days I'm going to take it out for a flight. It might be a couple days till I do, but it depends on the weather and depends on how much time I have since now the holidays are coming. So yeah. Alright, so give me a moment and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so he is basically complete here, and if you hear that cracking noise, it's my chair. But he's absolutely complete and it's just looking sexy. And I did cheat and I did wait right now just to check how much it weighs, because I was very excited and very just anxious to see it. So I gone ahead and waited before I started recording again and clean up the area. So in theory, this should be an absolute amazing flyer and an efficient one as well, because this thing weighs 243 grams. I'm very happy, and this frame is just insane. And hopefully the winner, whoever wins this one, will get us a couple recordings before they crash it and break it. So 246, sorry, what was I saying? 246 grams, so that's just insane. That's just beautiful, really, really beautiful. So it's a $125 super light quad. If you remove $30 and you add, or you could just add just $10 and get some Racerstar 2306 2400 kV or 2700 kV, you will have an absolute beast on your hand. It'll only be like $140 so if you're gonna build this one. So overall, this looks good. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fly it. We're gonna see if it needs a low ESR capacitor or not, or some kind of voltage regulator, because as you can tell I didn't add one, just because I want to see how it's gonna perform like this and see its overall everything about it. I mean, it looks very beautiful. It looks unbelievably sexy. Really, wow. So I'll try to do the announcement of the winner earlier. Maybe I think we'll announce the winner of this one on Christmas, or maybe Christmas Eve. And yeah, I really hope you guys are gonna enjoy it, whoever's gonna win it. And this should be an absolute beast. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it out for a flight these couple days, and we'll see what everything about it and see how it flies and everything. So that's gonna conclude it for this video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I really hope I could continue doing this for you guys. And of everything here, everything I talked to, everything I use in this build right here is linked down below, and they are affiliate links. And if you can use them, that really support the channel. The way they work is basically you click on a link, and if you make any order off of Banggood, in a couple days, then I get some kind of percentage, like a little couple cents here and there, and that enables me to keep just buying more stuff for the channel and just giving it back to you guys, because yeah, I just want to give back to you guys. This is the least I can do. And as time goes on and progresses, I'm going to do more expensive builds and then just give them away also. So hopefully we could try to start with 1 giveaway per month. I mean, a full quad giveaway. And then we're going to move to, I'm still going to give away frames and all that kind of crazy stuff. But right now, we really want to try to get 1 quad per month as a giveaway. And then hopefully we can reach 2 quads per month. Maybe like a budget and a super high end, or maybe 2 high ends. We'll see. I don't know. I have no idea yet. But to enter the contest right now, to enter the giveaway, comment, like, share, subscribe, and yeah, I'll be picking the winner very soon. And after tomorrow, just stay tuned, because I'm also going to be choosing the winner from our previous budget build. I still don't know who it is. And that's it, guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you can use those links down there, it would really support the channel, and it'll enable me to do a lot more and give a lot more and do mods and just bring more equipment in, so I could test and do all kinds of crazy stuff. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys have any questions or any suggestions, feel free to let me know, and I will see you next time. See you guys. Take care.